Tomorrow is election day, of course, and we're getting you ready. The polls open at 7 tomorrow morning. They close at 8 at night. But if you're in line before 8, you can vote even if the polls are closed.
Yeah, voters can check their registration status on myvote.wi.gov. You can also find your polling place there and actually see what's on the ballot. Voters, as a reminder, do need to bring an acceptable ID to the polls.
Yeah, that would be a driver's license, state ID, U.S. passport even. It does not need to be a real ID. If you need to register at the polls, bring a proof of address with you. Absentee ballots need to be turned in directly to polling places by 8 p.m. tomorrow night. You can find a voter guide on our website in both English and Spanish.